I'm historian Leslie Smith, and I sent Yvette Fielding and the Most Haunted team to the Garden of England and the Kentish village of Pluckley, set in acres of farmland, to investigate the murder of a highwayman in days gone by. David Wells has already found the location of the highwayman's murder, Screaming Woods, and now at my suggestion the team are moving to a farmhouse close by that I believe is also connected with this highwayman and may help shed further light on his untimely death and ultimately lead to who was responsible.
Right. I'm very excited now because I'm really hoping that you're going to get something in here. What's the matter?
No, I'm just having a look at it. All immediately looks a bit different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely got an atmosphere.
Yeah, it does, straight away.
Yeah.
Straight away.
Okay, let's just go straight into this room here.
Okay. It feels really heavy. It feels really... I feel really slowed down by it. You know, it's almost like walking through toffee. I'm picking up on an energy. I think it's similar to the one we met earlier in the woods. He's this big gentleman, but he's much more aggressive here for some reason. Maybe it's home territory. He's presenting very tall. He is, by all accounts, you know, a highwayman.
So we met him. It's the same guy that we met
absolutely,
before. Brilliant.
Absolutely. He's making himself very big, so certainly he's trying to make himself taller than I am. He's got a big cloak on, so he's got, when I can see it, it feels like a cloak, so he's got a cloak, which I guess is, for the horse thing. I can hear horses outside. So I put him 1600s, so 17th century, really.
Is he wearing the classic hat or
No,
not?
he's definitely not got the hat on. His hair's very long and tousled. You can see that. He's not even the youngest man on earth, I wouldn't say. I think I've got an impression of an honest man, like a farmer or someone who's fallen on hard times. Do you know what I mean? So he's supplementing his income, or he's gone that way because he couldn't sustain himself.
Right.
This is a new phenomenon with me that you know, I always said you learn as you go along. New phenomenon for me is this kind of like this on me all the time, pushing me down, and there's a real threatening energy.
Ooh, and that's what it feels like.
Yeah, so that's, I think that's the highwayman.
Should we go and have a look at the rest of this particular
definitely.
area? So this seems to be where all the bangs and taps are coming from, as you were talking.
Yeah. I mean, I'm wondering if this is the oldest part of the building, because, I mean, it looks it, and if it is, maybe this was the only thing that was standing, you know?
And I can tell you, you're right, David, this is the oldest part of the house as well.
That's good, we like that.
We do. There's a musty smell in here, isn't it? Now, are you all right? What?
No, he just had a right old pop at me. One of those pops at me.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Who?
This.
Oh, you're right.
This bloke, yeah.
The highwayman bloke.
Yeah, had a right old pop at me then. A real aggressive get out.
Oh.
So that's clearly, this is more his domain than anything.
Tapping's going on here. We keep calling him the highwayman bloke. I need a name.
Well, it's a shame it's like not One-Eyed Jack, or what are they all called? Yeah. Three-legged Bob or something.
Yeah.
Robert, I would go for. Is it Dubois, something like that? You know, it's like which is of the woods, funnily enough, isn't it?
Yeah. Is it?
Yeah, Dubois of the woods. It's that kind of, that kind of name.
So why is he here?
I think this is home turf. I think he lived, or perhaps, I said he may have been a farmer. Perhaps this was this was a farm at some point that he was involved in, whether he owned it or was just involved in it.
Do you want to move on, or do you want to stay here a little bit more, or
I'm kind of torn.
Come back later on?
I'd like to come back. I'm kind of torn in a way because he's very strong, but he's actually making me feel a bit sweaty and horrible.
Very hot, aren't
you? Yeah, he is. So it's small doses, I think.
So that'd be great if we can meet this. He says he's going to be with us, doesn't he? Is there anywhere that you feel drawn to, that you want to go now?
Well, I think for me, I'd like to get up to the village, go and see what it's all about, get into the heart of the community.
All right, and maybe we can make a phone call to Leslie then, she can point us further in the right direction. Okay. Come on then, let's go.
On leaving Elvie Farm, Yvette called me with the news of the investigation so far. I was delighted to hear that David had put the name of Robert Dubois to the murdered highwayman and confirmed that this was correct. Yvette mentioned David's desire to return to the village, which I took as a good omen, as I was sure the Black Horse pub somehow lay at the heart of this mystery.
Okay, David, this is the Black Horse,
Okay.
and reputedly to be an incredibly haunted pub.
Can't picture that. In here, there's a bit of an atmosphere of oppression. There's a sadness in here as well as the farmhouse earlier. Different person. It's not the same person at all. But there's a kind of there's a very quiet man moving around, and he's I don't know. He's actually touching my shoulder. So I don't know. He may do that to people in here. It's almost like but it's a very gentle. It's a very really gentle touch. He's a very bookish man. So he's reading a lot, and I can see him sitting reading a lot. But there's this great sadness with him, and I think he's been involved in this murder.
Oh,
it's definitely because only because symbolically there's blood on his hands. In my head, there's this strong difference between that really violent character and this gentle-natured man. I think that ties in with my theory that this is a love thing. He suddenly switched. There's that fury that came from nowhere from a gentle person.
And any name with this gentleman?
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Not at the moment. He's very, quiet.
And do you think he's here all the time?
I think he
Reading his
haunts.
books? He's haunting.
Yeah, I think he haunts. I think he hasn't, for whatever reason, he hasn't gone on. I think he may have taken his own life. And he then feels he can't move on because, of course, it's a cardinal sin. And he does feel actually quite religious, which, again, goes against this fury and this horrible, vile act.
And when, just remind us, you said 1600s
Yeah.
when all this would have
Early
taken
to mid,
place?
yeah.
Okay. And so this wasn't a pub, it wasn't an inn, it was some sort of house that he would have come to.
But it's interesting because earlier on you said you wanted to come to the heart of the village and kind of drawn into this direction. So I get a sense from kind of the language that this would have been a busy place, or there would have been a lot of people anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right. I can feel people coming and going from the house. So maybe it was a boarding house, or maybe it was a place where people met. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe we can work on that and try and find out exactly what it was during that time period, and also to get this gentleman's name, because you're saying that this man was the murderer.
Definitely. He feels to me that he was, the final blow came from him.
Came from him because of something to do with love.
There's that kind of, there's anger that's only born from that. That's what I feel.
Okay.
There's anger that's born from a hatred for another because they may have killed someone but what I feel is that lustful anger.
David's sensing of the kind-hearted man seems to cast him as an unlikely murderer in this mystery. However, perhaps David's feelings that the motive for murder involves more than the highwayman's petty robberies, and that affairs of the heart also have their part to play, will finally help to unravel this tale. The team moved to the attic of the pub in the hope of discovering more of this contradictory, kind-hearted murderer.
Oh, I just love attics.
We got the nicest places.
We do, don't we? There's a bit of wire hanging down here, guys.
Okay.
Right.
Wow.
Don't stand up, David.
All right.
Actually, I can just about stand up.
It's a bit, isn't it?
This, if you were on your own, just the two of you up here.
Oh.
Shh. If there's anybody here, please knock. Are you the gentleman that likes to read books? Yes.
I've given it's a generic name, but it's the one that is the strongest, which is John. But they're kind of
John is agreeing with that. We need a surname.
Well, they're giving him a nickname, or he's given a nickname, which is completely opposite to what some was, and it's actually Gentle John. So
Gentle John.
Yeah, and I'm beginning to wonder if this is all part of the story. That he was so quiet.
Surname. Please, please, please. Even his initial or.
I'll go with M for the initial.
M.
Yeah, whether it's Michaels or.
Was your name John Michaels? Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so John Michaels, how old was he when he committed this crime?
He was 31, 32.